really good.
What's happening? It's harder than my workout. Oh, sure, I'll be able to do that exact same thing. I'm already feeling it. I'm stuck.
That is...
Okay, so this is probably one of the #1 questions I always get. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am here with my friend Lavon, who is a mobility and strength training coach, but he specifically focuses more on body weight training rather than weight training.
Yeah, primarily came into it with, focusing from body weight, calisthenics based or calisthenics focused, but I still dabble into weights, especially when it comes to lower body training. I guess you could call it a bit more of a hybrid approach.
So today he's gonna show everybody at home a nice simple mobility routine to do before we hit the gym, before we hit our weightlifting. And then also we're gonna break down doing some pull-ups and muscle-ups. Let's get to it.
You're gonna get that muscle up today?
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna go through I don't wanna overdo it, so just 2 mobility exercises, one for uppers, one for lowers.
Okay.
So obviously before your leg day, do the lower one. Before your upper body day, do the upper one. Yeah, so for the lowers, basically we wanna work on our squat and hinging pattern and also our ability to lengthen through the back body. You're gonna set up on a box.
Okay.
And you're gonna get into a squat on the box with the toes right at the edge and with a weight. So just a little kettlebell here will do. And so you wanna sit into the squat, shoulders back, chest up nice and high, right? And then from here, we wanna keep the kettlebell as low as possible. So you wanna keep or maintain the connection between your torso and your thighs. And basically what you wanna do from here is drive the feet through the box and try and get your hips up high and the head through. If you feel like you get to a point where you're stuck and you can't really straighten your knees, and to straighten your knees, this happens, then just work at the range at that edge. So if it's somewhere here for you, then maybe try and pull the head through, hold there for a second, and then lower back down into the squat. So you're gonna rep this one out. So shoulders back, when you're in the squat, shoulders back, chest up, and then drive the feet into the box and end up in the fold. Now, ideally in the fold, you wanna have your feet mostly parallel or going straight ahead. When you're in the squat, if you need to turn the feet out a little bit, that's fine. Shoulders back, chest up, drive the feet through, pull back down. All right, and I like to finish as well, when you get to that last rep, whatever it is, let's say we do 10 reps on that last rep, I'm gonna take a passive hold and just hang out here for maybe 30 seconds or a minute. Yeah? Sweet.
Okay, so, well, let me first try and do this.
So have your toes right at the edge.
Okay.
Yep. Sit super low, yep.
I'm already feeling
Okay, so
it.
go into the squat.
Okay.
Okay, all right, so you see how you have this connection here? I want you to keep this here. So you keep squeezing my finger.
Okay.
And then drive the feet, keep squeezing my finger, keep squeezing my finger, keep squeezing my finger, right? And head through, if you can. Oh, you lost it here. Yeah, and then bend, yeah, that's better. Bend the knees, lower down, squat. Good, squeeze here as you push. Now go again, drive the feet, squeeze here. Yeah, as soon as you start to lose the contact with my finger, then that's where you're working at for now. Okay. Lower back down, chest up, head up. Drive the feet into the box. Yeah, that's it, keep your arms on the inside. Push, 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 push. Nice, go a few more times. Yeah, keep going. Keep the weight forwards as well, towards the forefoot.
So if someone's at a gym, for example, and doesn't have a box like this?
Well, it also depends on your flexibility. Like for you, you can get into a decently deep fold. So you obviously need some of this negative space for the kettlebell to hang. But for some people, I mean, you don't even need a box. Well, you probably need to be slightly elevated. It doesn't have to be this high. Yeah. So last one. So try and maintain this connection as much as possible here. You're gonna hang out here for about 30 seconds. Cool. Can you bring the head through the arm? Yeah, there you go. Now lean forward. It might feel a bit scary, but try and lean forwards. Okay. I'm here. Yeah. Where do you feel the weight in your feet? Like towards
my
the
toes.
Back? Okay, that's good. That's good. That's where you want to be. All right. And so just let the upper body be dead weight. So just let the kettlebell pull your torso down, pull yourself into the fold.
Yeah, I really feel this.
Yeah. All right, we'll go 10 more seconds. Sweet. 3, 2, 1, and then slowly, yeah, you can drop down to the squat and you can just drop the kettlebell down. Yeah. Nice.
Ooh. That was good.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was really good.
Cool. So yeah, you don't have to overdo it, especially like if you're going into your leg day and you're going into squat, you're kind of like, practicing that pattern.
Okay, so how would you describe mobility?
Ultimately, or if you could summarize it as just your ability to move your joints as optimally as possible. I feel like, people are starting to hear range of motion. So it's essentially trying to develop your range of motion or to be as strong through the entire range of motion of your joints. So for example, with the squat, some people lack the hip mobility to sink into a deep squat. They lack the ankle mobility to, like they might have to elevate their heels to be able to access the squat. So the more you can improve and mobilize the joints, the more you kind of have access to. Yeah.
Before filming, we were talking about how people think mobility is like stretching or easy. What are your thoughts on that?
It kind of is. I know it gets conflated with stretching and flexibility and stuff like that. There's so many different types of stretching and mobility. So for example, like ballistic stretching, passive stretching, active stretching, PNF stretching. There's different types of stretching and mobility practices. I would suggest the best thing is to experiment with like the different types and see what really kind of works for you.
So somebody like me who's watching this and goes to the gym and does like a 2-3 hour workout, would you suggest how long to spend on mobility?
Yeah, okay, I get that. And like I would first say like you don't want to overdo it. And if you already have a busy schedule and a program, you want to just add things in slowly. And that goes regardless of what it is, whether it's mobility or strength. You don't want to like revamp your whole program. So I would say just start with maybe just determine, can you even add an extra session where it's just a dedicated mobility practice?
Okay.
Or maybe just adding in 1 or 2 exercises either pre or post your workout.
Okay.
And then you can kind of build up from there.
Yeah.
Rather than giving yourself too much and then,
I like that because I normally start my workout with core work to kind of be able to focus on engaging my core the whole workout. So I feel like combining that with mobility would be a good way to start. So should we do the upper now?
Yes.
Okay.
So for the upper, we're gonna need one of these. All right, so I lied, we're gonna do 2 for the uppers.
Okay.
So first one being our scapular pull-ups, and this kind of ties into the pull-up stuff that we'll get to later on. So basically what you wanna do for this one is get up to a bar, let yourself hang. All right, so let your scapulars, your shoulder blades get pulled all the way up to your ears. So we call this a passive hang. And then from here, basically what you're gonna do is actively pull your shoulders down, but without bending the elbows. And then drop down to passive. So basically just see how my shoulder's all the way up to my ear?
Yeah.
And then when you pull down, you're trying to, without bending the elbow, you're gonna try and get that shoulder down away from the ear with both hands, right? So pull down, you're gonna hold for a second, and then you're gonna lower back down to passive, right? But you will be tempted to bend the elbows. We're not doing a pull-up. This is like the first part of the pull-up. So when you do a pull-up from here, you would then go up, right? But for now, we're just worrying about staying here. So try and be as strict as you can, keeping those elbows locked. If you need chalk, I've got chalk.
Okay.
Yeah. You get a solid grip.
Like that?
Yeah, I just want to stop you from swinging. Okay. Yeah, so from there, good. Hold and then back down. Go again. Back down. Go again. Back down. Yeah. Okay, go down.
Hard.
Hold here for a sec. Can you give your weight more to gravity? Let those shoulders come higher. Sink more.
Higher.
Yeah, there. Okay. All right, now pull them down as far away from the ears as you can. There you go. And then back down. Yeah, again. Good. Back down. Let's do 3 more. So pulling from here. That's it. Back down. 2 more. Back down. Last one, you're gonna hold for about 5 seconds. Pull, 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 pull. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down. Nice. Really good. Yeah, you haven't done that before?
No.
Okay, perfect. You should definitely do. I know your pull-ups are really strong.
Yeah.
But it's just more so about learning how to coordinate your shoulder blades. Cool. So that's number 1 for the uppers. Number 2, we're gonna work on our shoulder flexion. I know you're saying you're feeling a bit jacked up overhead. Yeah. Hopefully we can sort that out. So all you're gonna need for this one is a ball. All right, it could be a med ball, just something that we're gonna place in between the shoulder blades to kind of get the chest open, and then we're gonna work on our flexion overhead. So I'll get you to sit with the ball right in between your shoulder blades.
In between my shoulder.
Yeah. Now, yeah, just lift your bum up for a sec. Yeah, and roll back. Yeah, now drop your bum down. Cool. Now, you don't really need the barbell but
my
this will help keep your hips grounded.
Okay.
So walk your feet in more if you can. Not in, yep. Just let me know if this is cool. You're gonna just look against the hips. Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right, sweet. And then you're gonna get a plate.
What's happening?
All right, so reach up, grab the plate.
Okay.
All right, I want you to have a solid grip on the plate.
Okay.
All right, imagine you're almost trying to pull it apart. So active shoulders. And then you're gonna reach the plate back with elbows straight and see how far back you can go. All right. And then back up. Yeah, go again. Again, elbows straight, pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back. Squeeze the shoulders, squeeze the shoulders, squeeze the shoulders, squeeze the shoulders, squeeze the shoulders. Cool.
It's harder than my workout.
Yeah. Back up. Okay, try and lock those elbows for me. Yeah. Reach back, reach back, reach back, reach back. Cool. Let's try and sync the breath here. So inhale as you go back. Reach, 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 reach. Exhale as you come up. Nice. Let's go 3 more. Cool. 2 more. Nice. 1 more. Elbow straight. Let's take it. Extra hold here. I want you to really work for it. Nice one. Cool. You get you out of this. You don't need the barbell, but it does help because some people find that they'll, as they reach back, their hips start to come up. So the barbell just kind of helps keep your hips grounded. Yeah.
Okay, nice. I truly never do those kind of things.
Yeah, I know. But trust me, I feel like your shoulders would be a lot better off.
Yeah.
Or less jacked up.
So what got you into this style of training?
So I don't know, sometimes I'm not sure how far back I should go on the timeline of the movement journey, but basically my background before this was in yoga. So I was practicing and teaching yoga for 5 years, opened my own studio in Melbourne. And then when COVID hit, I was kind of like just getting a bit over yoga and the industry, and even just my practice was getting a bit stale, and I was trying to get stronger for some of the more advanced postures in yoga. So that's when I kind of came across calisthenics. The timing of it was really good too because everything was shut and locked down. So I just jumped on YouTube. I bought myself like one of those pull-up bars for the doorway, bought myself a pair of gymnastics rings, and yeah, just followed like online workouts. And then eventually I got coached online and I joined a mentorship program. And then I just found it was a really good complement because obviously from the yoga, you get a lot of like flexibility, mobility gains, and then pairing that with the calisthenics with all the like strength-based stuff, I just found like it was just, yeah, it was a perfect complement to each other. So yeah, hence the kind of hybrid style of training. So now I offer like strength and mobility based coaching, like running personalized programs or in-person PTs. Hence why the initial focus was calisthenics based, but I still work with weights, more so with like lower body stuff. And also I just didn't want to box myself into one training style because that was, I felt like where I was going. I was at a stage in my life where I just wanted to question some of the beliefs that I had and like not be such a purist. I felt like that was a bit of a mindset that I had with things. Like I'd obsess over something, especially when it would benefit me. I would just like double down on that. But yeah, when you kind of see beyond that and you learn that there's other practices that you can benefit from and there's no one thing that's going to be perfect and that's going to tick all the boxes. So yeah, being open to different modalities and styles of training.
Yeah, so what kind of client usually comes to you?
I feel like there's a bit of a shift. I feel like you know that as well. Like I feel like this mobility has almost become like a bit of a trending topic. I think people in the bodybuilding and weightlifting community are starting to understand the importance of mobility. For example, an athlete who wants to, like, obviously being out here in Thailand, a lot of like fighters, Muay Thai people like that. So I've been working with a few people who like some of their goals is just to kind of get more access through their hips so they can throw better kicks, for example. So I'd say a pretty diverse client base, but for me, I do enjoy working with athletes, like people who already have some sort of a practice already, or at least understand the concepts of like discipline and consistency and things like that. But I definitely do work with beginners too. So
I definitely feel like the hybrid athlete is like trending right now, right?
Yeah.
Of kind of like people mixing up different styles of training, and I've definitely been doing that lately, but I definitely think it's so beneficial to combine this with other types of workouts.
yeah,
It kind of reminds me of when I used to teach HIIT to football players, and they would do little micro movements and they would just be dying because they never work.
On that stuff.
Yeah, they never are like opening up their hips, even doing hip thrusts and things like that. Most men don't do that.
yeah.
And so I think all of these things are pretty essential to go together. I know I need to do this kind of stuff more, especially me being a bodybuilder and posing. When I'm posing, and I have to be able to really have that mobility to twist,
Yeah.
where I feel like people don't really focus on that. And then that's why dancers and people like that usually are better at posing, yeah.
Right. Yeah, and they don't have to be completely isolated. Like I know we're saying strength and mobility, but there is a bit of a crossover too. Like even if you take the example of like doing dips. So if we were to, I'll even demo this real quick. Like if we were to train dips for strength, you might work with only 5 to 10 reps. You might be doing weighted dips and stuff like that. But if you want to work on, or if you want to focus more on the joint, the shoulder joint, you can just do like slow controlled reps and try and go like as deep as possible, right? Like that, doing something like this at a controlled pace, you're still working on the mobility of your shoulders while building strength. So they don't have to be completely isolated things or separate. Like you don't have to have a strength practice and a mobility. There are, I guess, a few principles that you can introduce to your existing training that just shifts the focus more to mobility.
Yeah.
Like pause reps, tempo reps, and then just having a focus on working through like the complete range of motion, or at least where that is for you or for whatever joint it is. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Should we get into some pull-ups?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is probably one of the number one questions I always get on social media and my YouTube is a lot of people feel just so overwhelmed by pull-ups and they just don't know where to start. They are practicing them with a band every day or doing the weighted machine at the gym, and they still can't get it even after years. So what's your thoughts?
Step number one is pretty much what we just did. Like the scapular pull-ups, I would say that is like foundational. For someone who would even struggle with that, you want to just maybe build up some more back and arm strength, whether it's doing like rows, TRX rows, ring rows, stuff like that. And then eventually, for example, with like the assisted pull-up machine, you're better off using bands, just more so like the specificity thing. Like it's still a similar pattern, but I would rather you just get on a bar and practice it where you're trying to get the movement as close to the actual movement that you're trying to train for. Not overdoing the volume. Like even if you can do like 10 reps with a particular band, you're better off maybe doing a little bit less and then just increasing the volume over time.
So let's say somebody at home is like, I really want to tackle pull-ups. What would be like the 3-step thing that they should work on every day?
Well, everyone's different. Like I don't want to give like a cookie cutter response, but I would just definitely say like focus on the scapular pull-ups that we just did. Even just spending time hanging on the bar, like building up your hold time, building up your grip strength. And that's something that you can easily do at the end of your session. Like literally just set a timer and see if you can hang on the bar for like a minute. And I'll do that with clients, and that's one way where you can pretty rapidly improve your grip strength. Like I was training a girl recently. When we first started at 6 weeks, she could barely hang for like 30 seconds. Now she's at like 90 seconds. Once you've at least somewhat understood the role that your scapula plays with the last exercise that we did, then doing some assisted pull-ups with a band. So you'd obviously start with a band where you can do at least 5 or so reps. So let's say we start with a green band, and then over time you progress down to the blue band, down to the red band, down to this, and then eventually no band.
Yeah, I completely agree with focusing on strength in the back too, because I actually never attempted to do pull-ups for years and years. And then I just was working out my back every day, or not every day, but every week. And then literally one day I just hopped on a bar and all of a sudden I could do like 10 pull-ups. Right,
so what were you training your back? Like lat pull downs, rows?
Lat pull downs, rows.
Were you ever doing the assisted pull-ups on the machine?
No.
Okay.
Like no pull-ups whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm always, even when I'm doing rows, like I always stretch forward.
Yeah, I've seen some of your clips. I feel like you do like a little like slow controlled tempo reps. Yeah, that's
so
great.
I feel like that helped me kind of get the movement a bit. I don't know.
Yeah, rows for sure. That would definitely be like I was saying, for someone who can't even do, or maybe even struggles to hang from the bar, you want to get them to build up their rows. So for example, with the TRX, and that's why something like this or rings, it's so easy to scale the difficulty. So if I just adjust my positioning to the straps, it'll scale the difficulty. So if we start more vertical, obviously it's pretty easy, right? But for some people, this might be quite challenging. And then all it takes is changing the angle. If I take a step forward and go a little bit more horizontal, it's going to be, more demanding. And then eventually you might go completely horizontal, right? By this point, if you're able to row from here, you'd probably be able to do like some assisted pull-ups.
Yeah. I feel like maybe that was it, because I used to teach TRX every day and I would always do those rows.
Oh yeah, you're saying you're TRX master.
So maybe that's why I
wouldn't be
was
surprised
able
if that had
to
a big part to do with it.
Yeah. So I was telling LeBon that when I was in Bondi, every day the guys at the little outdoor gym, they were helping me trying to get a muscle up. I've tried for 3 months and I still never got one.
Yeah.
I think I struggle with the part of like the momentum part. I feel like my triceps aren't strong enough to like lift me over.
Okay.
What is your guide to
Yeah,
the
it's
muscle?
it can be a long journey. It can be a bit of a love-hate journey or relationship. More often than not, I'd say people are closer than they think. Let's just say you want to have a benchmark of about 10 pull-ups and like 10, 15 dips. If you hit those numbers, then you can start training the muscle up. But yeah, the more sort of technical part is just the transition. Because with a pull-up, you're pulling pretty much straight up and down vertically, right? But with a muscle up, it's a little bit of a C curve.
Yeah, give us a demo.
So yeah, like I was saying, with the pull-up, it's pretty much a straight vertical pull. But with the muscle up, it's a slight kind of like C curve.
Okay.
So that's why it gets a bit more technical, because people are trying to just don't understand the correct movement pattern. So, all right, straight up, straight down. You'll notice now when I do the muscle up, like my feet will swing forward slightly and I'll come back away from the bar. All right, I don't know if you caught that, but like there's a little bit of yeah, it's not just straight vertical. So first what you want to work on is the timing and explosive pull-up. So like just take the pressure off doing the muscle up, because that's the reason why it becomes a bit of a love-hate relationship. Don't even think about the muscle up, just think about the swing and the timing. So as your feet stretch forward, you're going to get to a point where you have max tension through the body. And from there is when you want to really kind of snap, and you want to come away from the bar and then over. So for the timing, what you want to do is work on explosive pull-up. All right, so from here, you want to just learn to build up a little bit of a swing. And as soon as my feet hit like as far out in front of me as they're going to go, that's when you want to start pulling. All right, notice I'm not worrying about getting over the bar. I'm just trying to pull as high as I can. All right, now this, even if you can do sufficient pull-ups, this is still worth doing with the band as well, just so you can train that explosiveness. Should we give that a try here?
Both feet?
One foot will do.
Okay.
Yeah, press down with that foot. Yep. Okay, so you're gonna try and build a bit of a swing with the feet.
Okay. With just one?
Yeah, with just one, yeah. I mean, you can use two if it's easier. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and so when your feet are here, you're gonna push down.
Okay.
And yeah. Go, and then snap and pull. Yeah, not bad. Let's go 1 foot.
It's hard to swing.
Okay, come down 1 sec. Okay, so if we put this just as a reference, right? So there's a technique that I feel like is commonly taught called like the magic button. Basically what it is just more so training you on how to perform the correct timing. So magic button means we place an object here just for reference. And so that's for the swing. So you're gonna imagine that once you get out there, it's like you're trying to press on that button. And that's, you gotta think of your body as being elastic. All right, I probably should have given you this exercise first actually. So what you're gonna do is, all right, as you swing, try and stretch your feet forward. And then as you try and press on that button, the hips come back. Press down, hips come back. All right, one more time. So once my feet are at the mat, I'm gonna try and push my feet down to the floor. Boom, and then.
Okay.
Yeah?
I feel like you make it look so easy. Oh, sure, I'll be able to do that exact same thing.
So you're gonna jump up. Cool, keep your legs engaged.
Can I put my thumb over?
Yeah, it's up to you, that's,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, so you're gonna stretch forwards. Yeah. But once your feet are there, you gotta push down. So as you push the feet down, the hips extend, and then the hips flex.
That's so hard.
Yeah, okay, that actually right there wasn't bad.
Really?
Yeah? Boom. Yeah, okay. One more
So
time.
hard.
Yeah, I know, I'm not expecting you to get a muscle up today. I was taking the piss when I said that you're gonna get it today.
Oh my gosh.
Coming down, all right. Well, the other thing I was gonna say is that we can also,
No, that's so embarrassing.
let's even try with a stronger band. So let's try that swing again, and then we might show you on the rings. All right, so as I'm here, that's when I want to pull. So if I'm trying to press down, extend. See my hips going forward? You were kind of like trying to press down with your hips back here.
Okay.
So hips forwards as well, push down, and then from here. Because with the band, you can kind of feel the snap of the elastic. Once it's at its max tension, it wants to come back anyway. So you got to think of your body like that as well with the recoil. Yeah, push down with the foot. Cool.
Okay. So.
Yeah, you know, you don't have to arch your back, your upper back yet. Just, I want you to stretch forward with the foot like this. And push down with both feet. Yeah, so wait, hold on. You're gonna swing the feet forward and push down. Yeah. But I feel like you're missing the downwards push.
The downward push.
Yeah, so it's forward and down with the feet. Boom. Yeah, and as soon as you go down, that's when you're coming back up. Yeah.
I'm stuck now.
Yeah. The other way would be with the lower bar, and this will probably help you understand the momentum as well. Come here for a sec, Tiff. Just grab the bar and hang with your feet on the ground.
Okay. Like that.
Yeah, hold on. Come back up. We're just gonna go a bit higher.
You thought I was midget size.
Jump over.
Okay.
Yeah. So should we go from the other side?
I just feel like you make everything look so easy, and then when I try it, it just doesn't come out the same.
And let's go a little narrower with the grip. So here, bend down.
Or like this.
Nah, feet like knees bent, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're gonna try and jump up and over the bar. Feet forwards a bit. Yep. So you're gonna, yeah. Okay. So one thing I want you to think about is rotating the elbows over.
Okay, okay.
All right. Use your legs as much as you need to, like for the jump, as in. All right. And pull up and over. Yeah. Jump like you mean it.
I'm scared.
The bar's not going anywhere.
I don't think I'm strong enough.
Really?
Yeah.
I think you are. Or we can go lower with the bar.
It's scaring me.
All right. You want to pack it in or what?
But I get the idea. I feel like my elbows, my arms are gonna like.
Yeah, there you go. Now push up. Can you dip from there? Good. Come back down, and as soon as you get down, jump back up again. Yeah. Yeah. Now more chest.
Okay.
So as you're jumping, bring your head and chest forward over the bar. There you go, and then push up from there. Yeah, cool. One more time. You don't have to lean on. Once you're, yeah, go again.
Okay.
Yeah, just from there and then push up. Yeah. See, I feel like you could have done it at the higher height because now this is too easy.
No. Okay, so you would say practice that.
Practice that, but more so just your explosive power and then the timing of the swing is super important. Because you'll find people, they're strong enough to do the muscle up, but it's just the technicality of the swing and the movement pattern.
Okay.
For sure. There is also ring muscle ups too. I don't know if you want to touch on that. Now, some people find it easier on the rings. I found it easier on the rings because with the rings, there's obviously no bar. So if you can pull quite high, all you have to do is just shift your weight forwards. Okay. Whereas on the bar, you have to kind of get up and over the bar. Okay, so real quick, so for anyone that wants to learn the ring muscle up, you first need to get used to what's called the false grip, which can be quite uncomfortable and painful. So this is why, again, mobility, you need to have mobile wrists to be able to do this. So the false grip is, instead of holding here with the hands, you're pretty much hanging on the bar with the wrist, right? So first you want to get comfortable just doing false grip pull-ups. And then if you're able to pull up high enough, if I can get to here, all I have to do is bring the head and the chest through, and I'm at the bottom of the dip, and I can go up. Anyway, that's the ring muscle up. Just getting stronger with pull-ups is good. I don't know if you ever practice weighted pull-ups, but I feel like you can do, you're getting close to 10 body weight pull-ups, even just adding 2 kilos, 5 kilos, just building up some more strength, working in that like 1 to 5 rep range, and then doing the technical work as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I just try one of the false grip? But I can't reach.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, so there's two ways you can do it. You can just grab the ring and figure it out, but I find that easy. If you just go like this, if you hold on the insides of the straps and then you pull down, you'll automatically be there.
Okay.
Yeah?
Like
Go
that?
on, do that again. Get a solid grip. Reach up, yep. Now pull down, cool. Yeah, and then now the ring's gonna turn, good. Now see if you can step 1 foot off the box. Don't lose that grip.
Ooh.
Yeah, see what?
I definitely cannot do pull up like that.
Yeah, I understand.
That's hard. Okay.
That's fine, but you would, yeah, that's why I would do false grip rows first, get used to that,
Okay.
and then scale up to the pull-ups.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. You'll find that with the false grip as well, you might connect with your back even more.
Okay.
So even just doing false grip pull-ups for just targeting your back differently and your lats.
Okay.
Because with the bar, you can do false grip muscle ups too, but you don't have to. With the rings, you're pretty much forced to do a false grip because that's how you get the transition.
I'm just gonna try one. Not with false grip, regular.
Yeah, just a regular pull-up, yeah. Yeah, nice. Really good.
Maybe I could do 30 today.
Pretty good for food poisoning.
Well, thank you so much, Yvonne. That was amazing. I
For
learned
sure.
so much. How can people find you and work with you?
Yeah, sure. So if anyone who's living out here in Phuket or specifically like Rawai, Geelong area, hit me up. But on the socials, it's lvl.movement without the vowels, so MVMNT.
And you work with online clients as well?
Yeah, so I program people. So I grew up in Australia, so I do have some friends and clients who I program back home. Obviously, nothing's going to beat in-person coaching, but with the online programming, because even I was sus once upon a time when I first got coached online, but as long as the student is committed, it can definitely work.
Okay.
That's usually the biggest drawback.
Yeah. And then is there anything else you want people to know about you, about mobility, about anything?
Just be open-minded with your training, pretty much. I think that's been like that's the reason why I'm here today and why I train the way I train, and even just kind of overall outlook on life. So yeah, just be open-minded about your training. Don't be so fixated. Don't be a purist. And yeah, have fun, most of all.
Perfect. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.